Alright guys, it is Destiny with, I'm calling it Rooted Destiny because for years now I have been traveling every single second I get. As you can see, I have my Berlin shirt on. Unfortunately, that's the last trip I was able to take, which was for Christmas, well, for New Year's. Usually we do a Christmas trip. This past year, my daughter Alyssa was just like, we have to stay home for Christmas this year, Mom. So we stayed home for Christmas and did a New Year's trip to Germany and a few other Eastern European countries. But since quarantine, we have definitely been stuck at home. So I am no longer traveling Destiny. I am now Rooted Destiny. Rooted. Anyways, so here I am. So yesterday I told you guys about my fear of fungus, and the reason that I'm so terrified of getting fungus is because of this baby right here, this Monstera. So I bought this Monstera at Kroger for $5 because it was on the struggle bus. I don't know, I guess as a beginner in the plant to parent world, maybe I shouldn't have just assumed that I would be able to bring this baby back to life, but who can pass up a $5 Monstera deliciosa? So I thought it just kind of looked like maybe it had been damaged in transport, and that's what my friend told me, that she thought, the friend I had told you guys about that grew up Amish and knows a lot about plants. She said it just looked like leaf damage, but I just don't know. I'm going to show you guys and see what y'all think about it. I'm just not sure. So I still think it's fungus, so and I've not seen too much improvement, so I'm going to repot this today and spray it with some fungicide and just give it a little TLC because it just doesn't really seem to be improving. It is pushing out a little bit of new growth. Let me show you guys. Okay, so here we have her in all of her beautiful glory. I mean, it's quite a beautiful plant, really. And I cut about 6 leaves off of this not long after I got it because I was just so terrified it was going to spread fungus to all my other houseplants. Now let me show you. Okay, this is clearly just damage. And then this leaf right here, I don't know who potted this plant, but I think they did not realize it was vining, so they potted it. They tried to cover all the aerial roots. Anyways, this leaf was also half buried in soil, so that's why it is looking like that. Here's a perfect example of what I'm convinced is fungus. This particular leaf, I don't believe, I'm not sure if this is spread or not. That spot, those may be from where I sprayed it before with copper fungicide. So I did a few weeks ago, I did repot this, I think, before I sprayed it with the fungicide. So I sprayed it with this copper fungicide. This is just Bonide brand that I got at the local, well, not the local, I got it at Lowe's. So here's a couple other spots on the leaves. And then this is a new leaf unfolding, which has some brown spots on it, but it doesn't, the brown spots on this are not like these spots. Like, it doesn't have this yellow outline. So the brown spot with the yellow outline is what makes me think fungus. If you guys know more about it and you think that it might be fungus, then please let me know in the comments, because I have 3 planty friends who have been in this plant game way longer than me who tell me it's not fungus, but I do love them and trust them, but I have anxiety, so I just don't know. Y'all let me know. I'm gonna treat it like it does anyways. So yeah, and here's the silver falls I was telling you guys about that my friend let die. Poor thing. It just needed water because it was really hot while we were gone, and I don't think he remembered that this was here because it's kind of in a weird spot on my porch. It was so pretty and one of my faves, though. I'm just leaving it here because I'm so sad about it dying, but actually that looks kind of alive. I might I don't know, I might attempt chopping it up and trying to propagate it. Who knows, I'll just find another one. It's not like a rare plant or anything. I just really loved it. It was like soft and velvety and nice to touch. Anyways, yeah, so this is the fungus. You can see down here, or what I think it's the fungus. I don't know if it's fungus. Could be bacteria. Could be nothing. Who knows? This is where I cut a few of the stalks off. So you can see I cut one. I cut some off there. And there were actually multiple leaves in a lot of these that were cut. But you can see, it'll focus, there's some new growth coming out there. And there. And then, of course, I have this new leaf that has been unfurling. Sorry, guys, it's loud. I live right in the middle of town, and I'm outside. My husband is teaching class right now from home, so I can't do things inside right now. So, yeah, I have got this new growth pushing out there, and then I've got this new leaf unfurling. I also cut leaf off there, and I cut one off there. You can see that. And I actually have those leaves sitting in water because I wasn't sure if it was fungus. I just put them in a room that I don't have any plants in my spare bedroom. Don't have any plants yet. But just to try to see if they would grow some roots. I think there's at least one piece that's growing roots. Some of it got root rot though, and I just threw it away last night. But yeah, so that's my doggy. There's an aerial root. This is not a healthy looking aerial root. And then also this one too rotted. I think it's just because they tried to pot it with those aerial roots down in the potting soil originally, and then when I started messing with this plant, I realized like how jank the potting was and pulled those aerial roots out a bit, and then they rotted. So yeah, I'm basically sweating my ass off right now because it's the middle of the day and I live in Tennessee, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tennessee or not. I've traveled all over the world, and people always ask me what the climate is like here, and I tell them it's literally like a rainforest. Like, it's just humid, hot, like it feels like you're swimming all the time. It's so humid. I'm sure this baby loves it. People don't believe me though, but I don't know. If you've never been to Tennessee, you might be shocked about the climate here. So I'm pretty immune to it because this is where I'm from, but it just kind of gets worse and worse every single year. Anyways, I digress. So here's the game plan for this Monstera delisciosa. Had dirty leaves too. My dogs shed a lot and their hair gets all over these big leaves, so I have to wipe them off pretty good. Okay, so the game plan is I'm gonna pull it out of this pot. It's in quite a large plastic growing pot. I've had it in a cashpo, so I'm gonna keep it like that because I really like the cashpo it's in, and that way it just retains good drainage, and then once it grows, it'll be a bit easier to repot since they grow so quick. Anyways, so I'm using basically the same soil mixture that has just become my go-to that I told you all about in the last video. So it's basic gardening, or I'm sorry, not gardening, basic potting soil, indoor houseplant potting soil, amended with a lot of perlite because these plants like good drainage. So it's amended with a lot of perlite, but also with some peat moss in it to help it retain some moisture. Just it's a good in between to make sure we have moisture and drainage for these tropical plants. So this soil, like I said, I've repotted this plant before, and I put some really heavy soil in it because it's all I had, and I was just kind of panicking and wanted to get it out of the pot it was in. So I've got to take the soil out, and because I'm afraid that it has fungus, I am going to take this over here in my front yard by my hose. I don't know what y'all call it. I call it a hose pipe, which is apparently is a weird thing that people here in the South say. Kind of repetitive, right? Hose pipe. Anyways, gonna take it over to my front hose pipe. I'm gonna pull it out of this pot and rinse as much of this soil away as I can, just in case there is some kind of fungus, and also because this soil is just way too heavy, and because it's just been on the struggle bus since I've gotten it, and I really want to save it. So yeah, I'm just going to pull this plant out, rinse as much of the soil away as I can with the hose, rinse the leaves off while I'm at it because they're dirty. The soil is full. I have a Great Pyrenees, an indoor Great Pyrenees, because she's a city dog that I rescued from the shelter who just never belonged on a farm. So anyways, indoor Great Pyrenees. Her hair all in the soil, all over my leaves. So I'm gonna give everything a really good rinse. Look, my hair is just like sticking to me because that's how hot it is here all the time. So anyways, gonna rinse the soil out of the roots kind of the best I can. I've never done that before because I don't like to mess with roots of plants very much. But I'm gonna do it for this baby because I really think it needs it. So yeah, rinse the soil out. And then I'm going to clean this nursery pot out because this is the only one I have that's this big. So I am going to reuse this pot, but I'm going to wash it with some soap before I do that. With some dish soap, just to make sure there's no residual like bacteria, fungus, whatever it is. I don't know. It's freaking me out and I don't like it. I'm going to rinse it out. I don't know yet. I've been thinking about pruning some more of these rough looking leaves off, like this one that's really just got a lot of spots on it, and then this one too. I'm thinking it might just be the best bet to just prune these leaves off, because as we all know, although it kind of like with these big beautiful plants and these big fenestrated leaves, sucks to cut them because they're so beautiful, but it makes them push out new growth, and if it will keep my plant alive, then I think it's worth it. I mean, the leaves I've already cut off were the biggest, most beautiful fenestrated ones that were on it, but they were also the most damaged, so they had to go. My neighbor builds furniture. He fixes furniture in his garage, so that's what all that hammering is. You know, just natural sounds from the city, whatever. Okay, yes, I'm gonna take you guys along on this ride of rinsing these roots and everything. So, I don't know. I'm gonna try to find a way to prop my camera up so y'all can see. So, let's go. Alright. Just gonna dump it out in here. Get all this out. healthy looking roots. Okay, I don't know how the sound quality is going to be on this because I'm right beside my air conditioning unit and it's over 30 years old, so it's pretty loud. But as you can see, this soil mixture was actually much better than I thought it was. It's got all this orchid bark in it. I assume that's what that is. I don't know. I'm not a pro. And it had a lot of perlite in it. You can see it's all over my ground now. Just normal city noises happening in the background. Super cool, kids. Okay, so I decided to do something. I probably should have done this before I rinsed because if it is fungus, I might have spread it, but I'm still gonna spray this with the copper fungicide, so hopefully not. But I'm gonna cut this leaf off because it looks so rough. I'm also gonna cut this one off because, and the reason I'm cutting this one off is because you can see this, if I can get it, has a spot on the stem. So that's no bueno. That makes me think it's spreading, and so I'm gonna cut that off. So I'm just gonna, I have sanitized these with alcohol, and I'm just gonna give this a good snip. Let's see, I'm cutting this one off. These are on the same, see, and this is my new growth is growing from the same stem, the same vine as these two leaves that are super struggling. So I don't want it to spread anymore. So I'm just gonna cut this off because I really want to save this plant. Already worked hard on it, too far in. So there we go. Bye bye to that one. This is not going in my compost because if it is fungus, it will just spread to whatever I put my compost on. Maybe if my compost doesn't get hot enough because I'm doing a hot compost. Okay, so I'm just cutting this baby off right here. Boop. There we go. Alright, so these two are gone. I've now cut off like half the leaves on this baby, but that's okay. I just want to save the plant. It was a $5 Monstera. Like, I'm just trying to save its life. This one, I don't... Actually, I'm going to cut this one off too. Fuck it. Alright, so just get right in here. Get it as close to... Alright, there we go. Okay. So I've done that. I'm done rinsing that because I kind of want to leave some of that stuff. Actually, though, I am going to give the leaves another good rinse since I rinsed them with that. I rinsed them with the other perhaps infected leaves. So I'm going to give these another really good rinse off. Alright, so I really want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. Just change my angle up a little bit. So here we go. Here we have it. Like I said, the soil mixture ended up being much better than I thought it was. It even had a little sand with the bark in there. So that kind of makes me think even more that there's another issue going on with this plant. And y'all don't worry too much. I've got this plant in my living room with a lot of my other plants, but it's several feet away from them. So this is the reason why you sanitize your things. Learned that the hard way recently. Okay, so as you can see, these roots are really healthy actually. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna do two things actually. BRB. So I'm gonna do the copper fungicide. Okay, I've also I washed this with some good antibacterial dish soap. So this is the same pot it was in. I just wanted to make sure it was clean before I repotted it in there. So yeah, hang on just 1 second. Okay, so I know this might seem like super double extra. Maybe it is, I don't know. I just am trying to save this plant. But I'm going to also treat this. So I'm gonna spray it with the copper fungicide, but I'm also gonna do a systemic disease control. So I'm afraid that the fungus I've had on this plant is black spot. Like I said, you guys please let me know in the comments because I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, honestly, I'm just dragging y'all along on this ride with me in my beginning stages of houseplant life. I need help, so y'all help me. Anyways, I'm gonna do a systemic treatment after I get done repotting it. as well as spraying the leaves with fungicide, or with the copper fungicide. So yeah, let's go ahead and get on the repotting. I told you before, I got my soil mixture all ready. And I'm going to use my now clean nursery pot that this plant was in originally. Well, actually, I might have up-potted it. I don't think it was in this one originally, actually. But yeah, so we are going to, actually, you know what? This nursery pot has humongous holes in it. So I'm going to go get some coffee filters to put down in the bottom to keep all the soil from coming out. Okay. So I got a leaf dangling down here in the camera because you're actually sitting in a pot. You're being one with the plants right now, guys. So okay, so I went and got some coffee filters. We're super bougie when it comes to our coffee, and for a long time we only did V60. So if you're not familiar with the V60, that's what these coffee filters are. That's why they're a cone shape like this. Let's see, I'm just going to cut them open and just lay them down in the bottom to cover up the hole so it'll still drain very well. These coffee filters are just going to keep the soil from coming out of those big drainage holes. So big drainage holes are good, and I'm going to use these to cut the coffee filters. I got my handy dandy alcohol right here. I just cut those potentially infected leaves off, so I'm gonna sanitize this before I do anything else with it. Then just wipe it on my pants because it's just messy like that. Got these tights from Walmart. I don't care too much. Alright, I'm just gonna cut it down on the seam right here. No, I'm gonna cut it down this seam actually. I might just completely cut it in two pieces. Let's just see. I've done this before, but not on one with so many large drainage holes. Honestly, scissors would be much more ideal for this, but whatever, that's the trick. Okay, so can I got this? Oh yeah, this would be perfect. So I cut both of these. I cut both of these open. I'm just gonna make a perfect little half moon shape. Put them together and it makes a circle. Perfect for the bottom right. And I'm just gonna cut this one open in the same way. This doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It's literally going underneath soil. So it doesn't matter at all. I could rip it. I could bite it off. It's my extra wild woman ways. Alright, so I'm just knock that open. So, see? And now I'm just gonna lay it, see? Lay them in there just to hold that soil in better. So now we have drainage, but we're not gonna lose all our soil. See? You can even still see the holes. It's great. Okay, now we're gonna throw some soil in on top of this. On top of these filters. See, I'm just putting the soil on top of the filters. I'm not really sure how much soil I'm gonna need. I might need to make more soil for this. This is a really big pot for a really big plant, so it's going to take quite a bit. Let's see. Definitely need more. It's probably gonna take my whole mixture I have right here just to fill the bottom up. We'll see. So let's see. Might be good. I want to make sure it has a lip, and I have washed a lot of the soil away, so I'm just gonna plop this baby in here like this. Alright. Wait, I'm making a mess now, guys. What I'm best at. Alright. Really, I'm just super good at making messes. Alright. See, this plant has had so many of its aerial roots tucked down into the soil. And I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's just like strange to me. I don't know. Okay. So now I'm just going to fill her up. See, I got a lot of exposed roots there from where I rinsed it earlier. Let me pull some of this crud off my mat. So usually, guys, I would compost the soil and the leaves that I cut off, but because I'm afraid that this plant has a disease, it's not going in my compost, because then I might just share the disease with all of my other plants. So I'll show you on my compost setup another time. I just figured I might as well like start recording this stuff because I'm doing it anyways because of my newfound plant love. And so if I'm gonna be doing it, I might as well record it. Because I really have found plant YouTubers so comforting lately. So I'm like, I really loved it. And I'm doing this anyway, so I might as well just record myself doing what I would already be doing. And now this way I have someone to talk to while I do it, because my husband and my daughter definitely don't want anything to do with it. They don't help me or anything anyways. I'm not porch, so it doesn't really matter if I make do it or mess. I'm still trying to get it in. Root that fell off there. Make sure this baby's upright. And it's not perfectly centered in the pot, but I'm okay with that because I actually have this kind of propped up a giant branch that fell off the tree on my front yard. Trying to see if it will grow up it. I don't know. So if it's leaning back a little bit in the pot, or not leaning back, but just not perfectly centered and kind of towards the back of the pot a little bit, that's fine. Because that branch, obviously not in the pot, I have tied it to the cash bow. So it's tied to the outside of the cash bow. I'll show y'all in a minute. So with this being a little set back in the pot, it's actually more ideal than it being in the middle of the pot. Plus, these babies apparently grow like crazy if I could just get this plant good and healthy. It's just been a super struggle. I mean, this plant was just always on the struggle bus. Sounds like we got somebody driving through on the mower. These kids like to wander around and see if somebody needs their car mowed. So, there he is. That's some minor, so I can't really film him. So, I'm gonna have to go make some more soil. I think I'm gonna bring you guys along for the ride to make some more soil, but as I said before, a lot of my indoor houseplant stuff is in my office, and I share an office with my husband, so I can't talk to you while I do it, but I'm gonna bring you in there. Maybe I'll do a voiceover. I just want to show you what I'm putting into my soil. I'm using it like the base, not really the base because it's not really, not even half of it is this, but the base is a Miracle Grow because that's what has been accessible for me. But I think I'm gonna try to start buying the Spoma. Anyways, come with me, I'll show you.
So make sure you're on and ready for that. And if you do not have any other questions, then you're free to go for today. Yeah, you can. It will open at exactly 2:30. Yeah, and yeah, that's no problem at all. It has a 15-minute time limit. Yeah, it'll say the closed door keep happening. Should have given him extra points.
For staying.
Yeah.
My daughter's cat. Callie. Callie. There she is. This is my daughter's cat. She's joined us on our potting adventure. This is Callie. She's a pretty kitty. But I'm a dog lady. But she's aight. Okay, so now we got a little bit more soil. I think this should be enough to top her off. Go. I accidentally dumped a lot of worm castings in here. I don't think it's gonna hurt though. Okay. I'm just gonna keep filling this baby up. Pats in there. Make sure that press it down a little bit and make sure that I've got it kind of like, I don't really know what to do because of how weirdly they had this potted to begin with. Oh, here comes hubby.
Talking to somebody? Talking to somebody?
My fans. He's been very supportive of this. I mean, like, he's supportive of most everything I do. He's pretty awesome. Oh, we live right by the train tracks, so that's the train. Yay! My husband, his name's Wes. He wrote my little ditty. He didn't really write it. He just boop, boop, boop. So he plays the djembe, so he djembed me a ditty for this. Just gonna make sure this down a little bit. Alright, I think that's about good. just don't know. There's still some roots poking up here, and I'm just gonna, I think that, I just broke off some of the new growth. I can't believe that. Disgusting. Good job, Destiny. I messed up, guys. Broke some of my new growth. Oh well, it'll be fine. Not the end of the world. My $5 plant that I'm trying so desperately hard to save. That's good. Can't believe I just did that. Oh, I'm disgusted about it. Oh well. I think I'm gonna cut off. These are still sanitized from earlier. I'm gonna cut off this like old growth right here in the middle. Because if you cut it off, it will grow back. We'll just encourage the oxens to just keep pushing them out. So that is fine by me. Let's just get the oxens flowing and get some new growth coming. Scoot this in the middle a little bit more now since we cut off that old growth. One day I'll have to get Wes on here one day. Just to talk a little bit about like some real biology. Since that's what he does and all. I'm gonna try to wipe this out. Like that. And I don't really want to give these leaves. I wet this really well, and now it's just melting a bit. Ugh, I don't know, guys. We're gonna see what happens with this plant. I'll have to do an update later. Okay, I've not used this systemic formula, so let's just. I've looked at the. All right, let's just look at these. So you just peel this off. This is the Bio Advanced. Can't use this on food. I can only use it on hair. Okay. So. Look at these directions. Alright. I'm sweating, guys. Like, seriously. I don't know where y'all are from, but if you're from a place that you don't just constantly swim in the air all the time, then count yourself blessed. Okay, let's see. This is house plants. Apply no more than 3 times per year. That's fine. I've not applied it at all. So it says shake well before use. Okay, so I thought that you watered this in, but you actually spray it too. So that means I really need to decide if I want to use this or the other. Tough decision. I think that I'm going to do the copper fungicide again because I've already used it once. And I think it kind of stopped some of the spread. So I think I'm going to use this copper fungicide again. If this doesn't work, then in a week or 2, I think I'll try the systemic. And if that doesn't work, then this baby is just gonna have to go because I can't deal with the stress. It'll be a $5 lesson learned. Alright, so I'm just gonna spray this down really low. Man! Kelly doesn't know what she wants. She just wants to talk to me. So I'll read the directions of this too. So I've done this before, but really you just spray it. That's all it does. Spray all plant surfaces, top and bottom of leaves thoroughly. Yep. All that'll do. So that's what we're gonna do. Shake it up. And we're just gonna spray this baby down. The new leaf is melting now since I sprayed it with water. That's fabulous. Make sure to get the tops and the bottoms of this really well. I'm also going to spread this a little bit. Get under here, get the stems good. I really want to get everything. So apparently you can, like, if you do this too much, your plants will get copper poisoning. But this is only the second time I've sprayed this plant. So I think we're going to be fine. I hope this new growth back. Oh gosh. I don't know, guys. Give me some advice. I need it. I'll drop me some comments about this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. With some help. And like I said, this plant might die. I don't know. It cost $5. And it was just a great find. I couldn't pass up. And like I said, I have it several feet away from my other plants. So I don't think it's gonna spread or anything. If it is a fungus, I think the worst thing that will happen is it'll die. It did only cost $5. I am attached to it already though, but it's okay. Alright, so I basically got this part of the job finished. I'm just gonna let it, I need to move it out of the direct sunlight because it's getting hit right now. I'm just gonna move it over here. This is where you guys have been sitting in that pot. This is our old coffee table. I just moved it to my front porch so my plants could live on it for the rest of the growing season. Get some good sunlight and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna move this baby up here into the direct sunlight because it can take it. And I'm gonna move this over here. Now, I really don't want this to touch my other plants, so I'm gonna make sure that it's not, but it does need to dry before I bring it in the house. So I'm just going to, oh, this poor leaf. Oh, it's just poor plant, actually. Poor plant. So sad. Anyways, I'll introduce y'all to some of my other little plants in here. These are basically, well, some of these started out as outdoor plants, and some of them were inside and on the struggle bus, so I had to bring them out here. I'm not too worried about these plants touching because I don't think that they have anything going on with them. But this one started struggling really bad because I had it sitting in a, let's see, let's see. Yeah, like a northeast facing window for a while, getting direct sunlight there. And then I moved it to a darker place in my living room because I thought this plant would survive there, but then it just started getting droopy and losing all of its leaves, and they all just started looking rough. So I gave it a good drink and brought it out here with these plants, and it's actually looking a lot better than it was. And it's, you know, putting out some new leaves and stuff, so that's pretty good. And then these guys were really struggling. So these are some tropical plants that, I don't know, like I said before, I learned a hard lesson about dense soil. So I planted this one and this one in some really dense soil. You can see my Pyrenees hair in there. Also, it looks a little moldy. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to replant these. They're coming back to life now. They were really on the struggle bus for a while though, so they've been out here for a few weeks just trying to regain some of their life before I replant them in a better soil mixture. These guys are doing pretty good. And then this croton's just growing. There's just never stop. I've got some cacti and some aloe. Or, I'm sorry, this is not aloe, this is agave. And then my bird of paradise. This is a new leaf that got devoured, but there's some new ones coming. I don't really know what it is that just loves to eat these birds of paradise, but there's some kind of critter that just loves it. I need to spray it with some neem oil, which I do a lot. Yeah, and so here is an avocado tree that I'm growing from a seed. You can see that growth coming out there. I can get it to focus. There we go. You see that? Can you see it? Look at it. Oh goodness, this is gonna be an avocado tree, guys. I'm gonna have avocados grown to eat in like a million years. It's like 7 years or something. Anyways, I started this in water several months ago, and it rooted in the water, and then I potted it in this soil. This is a really dense soil because it was rooted in water. I wanted it to have a dense soil that would stay moist. So it's pretty dense for an avocado. Once it grows a little bit more in a couple weeks, I might, we kind of have longer summers here, so I mean, it's like 85 degrees, like stifling hot here right now. So I think I have a little bit longer of a time to plant or to repot. So I'm going to repot this in probably a lighter soil before the winter. I just need to keep it good and moist right now because it started in water. So yeah, these are just some of my plants out here. Then I've got these guys. I don't really know what's happening here, guys. These were some of my first plants that I've just been experimenting with, honestly. I just really love this foliage. Like, it's some kind of mounding perennial. I think I'm gonna take it inside though, but it needs full sunlight. And this is like a ground clover that's kind of like a succulent. I took some of those out and put them in here. I'll probably put more of them in there. I don't know, maybe I won't. Who knows? Who knows? And then this is like a ground covering succulent right here. It usually flowers. It's just gotten a lot of rain the last few days, so it's not flowering. It'll probably flower again in the next few days. Okay, I told you guys too about putting the BT in my watering can. So these are just what do you call these things? Shoot, there's a proper name for it that we use in the restaurant biz. I don't know why I can't remember right now. Whatever. It's been so long since I've been in the restaurant, guys. Anyways, I leave these open, full of water, sitting with my plants, like my calatheas and stuff, to help give them some humidity. You can see the BT floating in there, so I put the BT in here and then just let it soak in here so you can see it. And then usually when I'm ready to water my plants, I pour this into my watering canister. I don't typically water straight from these because it's a pretty heavy flow, and I have like a really narrow spouted watering can that I usually use. But I am going to water this Monstera in with just using this bottle now, and I'm just going to shake it up. You can tell the water's kind of getting foggier. It's also look at that. Yeah, so because fungus typically reproduces in not only a humid environment, but a cold environment, I'm gonna leave this Monstera outside probably for the rest of the day because it's super humid today because it's been raining for the last couple days, and we got hurricanes brewing down south, and it's gonna rain again for a few days starting, I don't know, tomorrow or the next day, I'm not sure, as soon as that hurricane gets up here. But so it's super humid right now, and of course because it's so hot we have our AC cranking, so with me giving this water and having rinsed these leaves off and stuff, I don't want to take this plant back into the house in with that cold airflow, because that's just kind of a prime environment for fungus. So I'm going to water this plant in with this BT treated purified water, and then I'm going to leave this Monstera outside on my front porch for the rest of the day just to make sure it gets dried out. It's not in direct sun. My porch is covered. It's late afternoon right now, so the sun is close to as far back as it's going to get, I think. But I don't think some direct sunlight is going to burn or harm this plant right now. I could be wrong. I don't know. I might burn it. Ooh, I'm going to watch it and make sure it doesn't get any direct sunlight. It's not getting it right now, and it's really late in the afternoon, so I think it'll be fine. But yes, I'm gonna water this plant in with this, and then I'm gonna leave it sitting outside for the rest of the day. And when I bring it back inside later, I will show you guys where its home is right now, and how it's distanced from the rest of my plants. And I'll show you this giant limb that I got from my front yard that fell off in a storm a few weeks ago that I'm gonna try to, I don't know if this baby will ever start pushing out some good new growth and maybe some new aerial roots that might start climbing this branch. Maybe not. I don't know. Y'all give me some advice. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I need you. Alright guys, so I decided to go ahead and move this to my back porch. My potting table is a mess. Ugh, but you know, whatever. I don't care. But I moved it to the back because there's way more shade back here. And I just don't want it to get burned, but I also don't want to take it in because it's too humid. Yeah. These are some crotons it's a couple different kinds that I put into one container. I had this one inside. This one in particular was in a thing by itself, and it was losing lots of leaves and struggling, and so I decided to plant it in the same pot with these other two. I just think they look really nice together. So now that I have it outside, it's pushing out new growth. See, before it was just losing leaves. It wasn't in a sunny enough spot, so I am going to take these back inside, but I'll definitely make sure it gets more sun. Okay, as promised, I'm just going to show you where I've got this Monstera sitting. So yeah, this giant branch broke off a tree in my front yard, so I just ignore all the dog hair, guys. Tied it to this. All this dog hair is about to go into my compost. That's fun. So we just kind of let it collect and then put it in the compost. But anyways, yeah, so this is where the Monstera is living. And as you can see, this is as close as it is to any of my other plants. So if it has a fungus, don't think it's gonna spread. Cut most of it off at this point as of today, so hopefully it'll be all right. This new growth was still unrolling until I started messing with it today, and then once I sprayed it off, it kind of started melting. I'm sure it'll harden up eventually. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so I'll update you guys on this baby another time, but that's it for now. Let's hope she makes it. Give me some advice if you got it, because I obviously need it. Okay, I did just want to show you guys the leaves that I cut off before. This was one I cut. See, it's coming out brown. I cut this one at the node, and it like kind of started pushing out roots, I think, but there was another leaf coming off of it that started rotting, and I just pulled that off last night and threw it in the garbage. But see, this was the like big, beautiful fenestrated leaf that I had. But see, it had all this on it, so I had to take it off the plant, and I really don't expect this to root, guys. It's just kind of an experiment. So I sprayed this one with the copper fungicide. This one I made a different mixture and sprayed it with, and I don't even remember now what was in it. It was a baking soda and oil mixture, I think. Doesn't look so hot, so yeah, that's that. Y'all tell me what you think. If you guys have watched this entire video, you're awesome, because it's just a long bit of nonsense. There's my vegetable garden back there. I'm not gonna take you on a tour of it or anything right now, but I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. I don't know if anyone is. I think one person's watched one. Anyways, I like to have someone to talk to while I'm doing this stuff. And like I said, I need some advice. So advice is welcome. Please comment some advice. If you do like these videos, like and subscribe. I've just always wanted to say that. Now I just feel dumb though. But yeah, just like it if you do like it, because if you don't like it, I'm just gonna stop. Just kidding, I don't care. I'll probably keep doing it, but like it if you want. Okay, bye guys.